If you're a mom of a preteen or a teen, you probably at some point have had a thought you've judged yourself really hard for, and that thought is, oh my gosh, I hate my teenager. Hi, I'm Stephanie Korpal. I am the owner of Marble Wellness, which is a multi-specialty therapy practice, mental health, located in St. Louis, Missouri. We have locations in both Ballwin and Lake St. Louis. And we definitely work with a ton of parents, and maternal mental health is one of our cornerstones. And I have to tell you that in both my personal life and my professional life, I hear this from moms a ton. And sometimes when I am around my own friends' kids, cousins' kids that are teenagers, I understand where moms are coming from, because those kids can really just drive that knife right home and twist it. And I just want to tell you that that is a very okay thought to have if you don't then act on it in a way that is totally awful and immature. But having that thought is so normal. And what I always tell my clients, what I tell my friends is, it's not that you hate your daughter, obviously, or your son, but let's be honest, teenage girls can sometimes be sharper and more biting in a lot of their words during those teenage years. And those eye rolls, they have a lot of words to them, even though no actual words are coming out of their mouths. But what I remind moms is, at that point, your emotion is human to human, right? So there's another human in this world who is treating you pretty awfully. And so that response to them that you label as hate is actually a human response to being treated so poorly. It is not a mother response to a child that you hate your child. It is a human response that you are on the receiving end of really hard behavior, hard to absorb, hard to logically understand. I mean, half the time, if not more than half the time, that nastiness from your child is completely out of the blue, right? You asked them what they wanted for breakfast that day. You said, oh, wait, is today a dress down day at school? You said, how was your day? And it just comes out, and it's nasty and it's sharp, and it feels like it's hatred from them to you. And you're just like, oh my gosh, what happened? We were belting out Taylor Swift a minute ago, or they wanted to talk to me 5 minutes ago. They gave me a hug, whatever it was. And then it just turns so sharp. So that whiplash is also a huge component of what's so difficult for you as a human to manage. So we actually wrote a blog. We at this point might have more than one on this. And let me tell you, it gets a lot of traffic. And I'm telling you that so you, as a mom of a teenager, doesn't feel so alone in that thought, in that overwhelm of how they can make you feel. I know it's very common to just want to get on their level and be like kind of petty or specific or biting right back, especially if they pull something where they obviously think that they're smarter than you, or they straight up say, what do you even know? Or anything that indicates that they think they're smarter than you. You just want to be like, you have no idea. And they really don't. So what do you do in these situations? This is where you and your partner being in a good chapter together is huge, right? Because it's very similar to talking to a sibling about a parent. If a parent, your own parent as an adult child, is being a little off, and you can say to your sibling, oh my gosh, mom, or oh my gosh, dad. And your sibling will be like, I know, tell me what. But you know that the sibling also loves mom and dad, and it's okay. So you don't have to excuse it, if like when you do, if you're, or you feel like you do if you're talking to a friend or somebody outside of the family unit. So being on par with your partner where you can just go to them is great. Also, having that mom support, talking to other moms who have children of this age. I know I just said sometimes you might not want to take it outside of the family, but even just being able to broadly say like, oh man, these hormones are getting rough, or this whiplash is really hard to manage. And having another mom be there and know exactly what you're talking about, again, can break down that isolation. And these teenagers can really make you feel isolated when they are being like that to your face on a random afternoon, day in and day out. It's also really helpful for you to make sure that you and your identity outside of motherhood is getting a lot of attention now. It's really hard when they're little. This is something we work through with our clients at Marble Wellness all of the time is, that age and stage of motherhood where they're depending on you for so much. But really, when they are able to take a shower, get dressed, do so much more on their own, you really can hopefully start engaging in a little bit more of your own hobbies, do more socially with friends, and making sure that life and those things are getting tended to will also fill your bucket. And so as your kid just hammers things home that is not nice, at least your bucket's full. We have a lot more tips and tricks, but those are a few I wanted to bring to you today. If you'd like to reach out for some of that mom support with a therapist, feel free to. We're here for you. We love doing our mom work. You can explore our website at www.marblewellness.com or just go ahead and give us a call at 636-234-3052, and we'd be happy to get you assigned with one of our maternal mental health specialists as soon as you're ready. Talk to you soon.